I warned them. That ground wasn't barren. It was resting. But the HOA, they spotted a parched lakebed and saw dollar signs. Without a word to me, they hammered in their stakes, dumped their concrete, and erected fancy cabins smack in the middle of my family's legacy. They even had the nerve to christen one after me. They chuckled when I pointed out the old sluice gate, dismissed it as junk. So, I taught them a lesson they'd carry forever. One night, as they slumbered in their ritzy retreats, I twisted that vintage valve. By dawn, their high-end paradise was a watery wreck. The lake didn't drown them. It reclaimed its own. And when it did, the HOA's howls rang out sharper than I'd ever pictured. It began with a lone flicker of orange flames snaking through the tall, dry grass at the southern rim of the lakebed. I'd been tracing that same half-mile path every morning for over 3 decades, boots stirring up bone-white dust, eyes scanning the fissured clay for new washouts, coyote paw prints, or, if luck smiled, the dainty heart-shaped tracks of a mule deer. The basin had stayed bone-dry so long that kids born after Y2K thought it had always been a desert pit. They were mistaken. This soil held the echo of water like a veteran holds the ghost of gunfire, silent, enduring, and unyielding. That morning, the breeze carried a different tang. Beneath the familiar pine and dirt lurked something acrid and synthetic, fresh survey marker paint. I topped the small hill and froze. Vivid orange flags whipped on fiberglass poles sunk deep into the basin's lowest point, right where the old feeder stream once wove silvery strands across the silt. 32 flags at first glance, then more as my vision sharpened, arrayed in flawless grid lines slicing through the core of my father's lake. The layout was unmistakable. I'd seen my dad plot the identical pattern in 1967, back when he could heft a 16-pound sledge like it was a feather. Those weren't road markers. They were for footings. The knot in my stomach mirrored the one I'd brought back from Key San, a cold, ironclad surety that something cherished was about to be ripped away, with no soft options left. I lingered there, coat billowing, ears filled with the flags cracking against their poles like distant rifle shots in a far-off ravine. Then I pivoted and trudged the deliberate half-mile back to the house. Each step measured like a man who'd already settled on his course, but was still bargaining with the Almighty over the cost. From the porch, the basin appeared unchanged at first, the same faded scar nestled between pine-clad hills, the same whisper of wind rustling manzanita. But now those orange flags scarred it like garish sutures on an ancient wound, bold and profane. That afternoon, I piloted the old Ford down the winding road to the Oakwood HOA office, a squat glass and timber shrine reeking of cedar air fresheners and fresh wealth. I seldom ventured there. My deed outdated the neighborhood by 19 years. I skipped their fees, ignored their potlucks, and never pruned my bushes to their specs. They'd never pardon me for living beyond their rules. The kid at the front desk flashed a vacant grin, the kind they probably handed out with the name tag. "Can I help you, sir?" "I'm here about the orange flag someone jammed into my lakebed." His fingers halted over the keyboard. "You mean Lot 7B? I mean the spot where my dad and I hauled base hefty enough to yank a 12-year-old from a skiff." Behind him, a door hissed open smoothly. Sarah Klein emerged, heels clicking on the tile like ejected casings. Late 50s, hair like frost-kissed wheat, suit like polished steel. She could peddle absolution to Satan and still rush him to closing. "John Harlan," she said, offering a hand with nails honed to a deadly sheen. I let it dangle like a bounce check. "What a surprise. I'd like to know why your crew is staking the floor of my lake." Her smile didn't waver. "Technically, Mr. Harlan, the basin's been inactive for 22 straight years. County files reclassed it as in used common land in 2011. Your conditional water rights expired in 2009. Without standing water, it reverted to." It didn't revert. I cut in. It waited. She cocked her head in that rehearsed pity pose that never touched her eyes. "We're dubbing the project the Mirror Retreats. 12 upscale short-term rentals, floor-to-ceiling glass, cantilevered decks, private spas, the works. It'll boost every Oakwood property value by 30%. Even yours." I peered past her through the glass wall to the lot where a white Tahoe with builder plates idled, exhaust wavering in the heat. "You're planning to lay slab in a lake bottom." "A former lake," she amended, voice saccharine as coolant. Stress on former. I departed without reply, boots echoing on the tile like a dirge drum. That night, I hauled the old ammo crate from under the bedroom floorboards. Inside rested everything my father had toted from the county clerk in 1967. The original deed with its crimson ribbon seal, hand-sketched topo maps in his meticulous engineer's script, the water rights certificate still sheathed in plastic against age and moisture. I scattered the papers across the kitchen table under the lone bulb until the room resembled a command post from a faded war. I pored over them till the letters swam, till the grandfather clock chimed 3 and coyotes yipped replies across the ridges. One edge note in my dad's crabbed writing shone under the light like embers. "Custody of inlet works and apparatus shall abide with the Harlan line in perpetuity. They can seize the flow, sun, but never the valve." Perpetuity, a term officials loathed, and water always heated. I sealed the crate, stowed it back, and stood on the shadowed porch a while. Down in the basin, the orange flags flapped in the night gusts, tiny flames nibbling at the fringes of all I had left of him. Sleep evaded me. 3 dawns later, their missive was taped to my mailbox like a casualty tag on a field cross. No envelope, just a pristine sheet of Oakwood HOA stationery fluttering in the breeze. the sort of stock pricier per ream than most locals earn daily. I stood in the gravel drive in robe and boots, coffee souring on my tongue, reading it twice. Per-reviewed Jurisdictional Assessment and Regional Hydrological Archives, Lot 7B, formerly Harlan Lakebed, has been redesignated as non-operational common area under HOA oversight due to prolonged inactivity and disuse. This serves as official notice of construction commencing within 10 business days per Subdivision Plan 22A. Any interference with sanctioned activities will incur civil and criminal sanctions. Respectfully, Sarah K. Klein, President, Robert Vance, Vice President, Emily Wong, Secretary. I mouthed interference thrice, tasting brass. Then I creased the page into a tight square, edges keen enough to slice, and tucked it in the drawer by the coffee maker where I stowed matches and vendettas. That same afternoon, I steered the Ford down the switchbacks to the county offices, windows open, letting the pine-scented air scrub the fury from my hide. The place smelled of disinfectant and aged documents. I waited 43 minutes on a squeaky plastic chair. Karen, the clerk with weary eyes and a tilted name tag from too many propped elbows, finally beckoned. I need the latest hydrological status on the basin behind 412 Ridge Lane. She keyed, frowned, keyed more. The clatter like chattering teeth. It's marked environmentally dormant since 2013. Dropped from the active drainage list. No inflow logged since winter '08. That's cause I shut the storm gate myself in fall '08. Didn't want kids ATVNG into 6 inches of water and snapping necks. Gate's still there. Still functional. She shot me the glance, save for folks yarning about specters. Sir, if the permit's idle 15 years, state deems it forfeited. The HOA filed quiet title 6 months back. Public notice ran in the legals 30 days. No challenge lodged. I never saw it. You weren't mandated if the record address was the lot itself. Loophole. I placed the 1967 original on the counter. The raised seal had dulled to a bruise, but the ink stood bold and unbowed. My dad drove to Sacramento with this in a folder, clasped the director's hand. They sipped styrofoam coffee and jawed about trout. That meant something once. Karen's look softened. I believe you, Mr. Harlan, but the data center in Salt Lake doesn't. I exited with only a tepid photocopy of the quiet title ruling and the scent of toner in my nostrils. That evening, the initial convoy rolled in. Not dozers yet, just shiny white SUVs with darkened glass and magnetic decals reading Pacific Summit Builders. Crafting tomorrow's memories. Guys in fleece vests and wrap shades tumbled out with laser transits and drone hawks. They strung fluorescent yellow tape around the basin like wrapping a tomb. One pounded a 4x8 plastic sign into the earth where my private lane met the county blacktop. Coming soon. The Mirror Retreats, a serene luxury escape for selective guests. Contemporary comfort. Nature-inspired elegance. Presented by Oakwood HOA. www.mirrorretreats.com. I lingered on the ridge till the sun bled behind the West Hill, watching them mug for pics with the sign, arms flung wide like victors. The wind bore their guffaws upslope, light, heedless, already squandering cash that reeked of my father's toil. One gestured toward my house, etched against the dusk. Another chortled. I went indoors, poured 2 fingers of bourbon I didn't sip, and headed to the barn. The double doors creaked on hinges I greased each autumn, needed or not. Inside, the air hung heavy with sawdust and stale fuel. In the rear corner, under a dew-stiff tarp, rested the storm gate crank extensions, coiled like an iron beast's bones. The blueprint cylinder stood sentinel, red wax seal unbroken, my dad's script visible through cracked plastic. Harlan Storm Gate, 1967. Do not remove. I yanked the tarp fully. Moonbeams slanted through siding gaps, striping the crank silver. I thumbed the grease I'd slathered last October. Still pliant, still primed. Upstream 2 miles through national forest. No ranger had scouted since the last budget crunch. The headwater dam was swelling. I'd trekked there 10 days prior with my handmade staff gauge, a cedar slat etched in my dad's chisel marks, and gauged 4 feet 2 at the overflow lip. Snowpack hit 180% normal this year. By month's end, it had brim, straining the antique stone wall like a pent-up confession. I redraped the gear, but left the latch undone and doors ajar 6 inches for night air to circulate, just in case. That night, water haunted my dreams again, but now it spoke. It seeped through floorboards, chill against bare soles, murmuring my father's name, then mine, then perpetuity, repeatedly till the walls quaked. I jolted awake pre-dawn, heart pounding like inbound shells, gripped by the ironclad conviction that the lake hadn't forgotten to chastise hubris. I brewed coffee I didn't savor, stepped onto the porch, and eyed the orange flags gleaming in the early glow like the gaze of something rousing mad. The bulldozers arrived on a Wednesday. I was at the sink rinsing breakfast china when the valley thrummed with a deep mechanical snarl that shook the panes. I knew that rumble like a son knows his dying dad's rasp. I toweled my hands, still clutching the dish rag, and watched from the porch as the first yellow caterpillar crested the ridge like armor over a berm. Trailing it, cement trucks with lazy red drums, flatbeds heaped with rebar grids, gravel rigs belching smoke, a porta-potty trailer, and a pristine white command canopy that unfurled like a fungus post-rain. 12 rigs total, queued across the lakebed as if they commanded the skyline. Crew in high-vis vests and copper helmets. Someone blasted a speaker, and classic rock boomed off the dry walls like mockery. I stood rooted, coffee forgotten, as they unloaded the dozer and scraped topsoil in bold swaths. Dust billowed in ochre phantoms, lingering after the machines advanced. Beneath that dust, layers of silt my dad and I had nursed from the peaks one freshet at a time. Below that, bones of fingerling fish we'd stocked, feathers from nesting ducks pre-drought, and the faint echo of my sister's giggle bouncing over once mirror waters. By midday, the first ditch gaped 30 feet long, too deep, precisely where the inlet once crooned into the basin. I descended at dusk after the team departed, boots hushed on the fresh scar. The dirt stayed moist 6 inches down, dark as grounds, exhaling cool on my palm when I knelt. The land wasn't lifeless. It slumbered. I tarried till stars emerged, then ascended with mud on knees and an ache behind eyes unrelated to years. Next morning, Sarah Klein parked her Pearl Escalade midway up my drive, blocking the cattle guard like she owned physics. She lounged on the hood in shades and a cream silk blouse, arms crossed, watching my approach. "Morning, John," she cooed, toxic sweet. "Move your ride. Just a quick chat, man to man. You're on my property." She matched my stride, heels sinking in gravel. Built ahead of pace. Inquiries from LA and Seattle already. Fractional shares look promising. These retreats will fund a full clubhouse overhaul. New courts, maybe a pool. I pressed on. She prattled. "Time to join in, John. We could dedicate the flagship to your kin. Harlan's Haven. Harlan's Mirror. Classy. You could pocket 7 figures by bowing out." I halted. Wind sighed through overhead pines like caution. "That lakebed was never yours to hawk." Her grin narrowed. "And it wasn't yours to hoard legally. Progress, John. Even you can't halt it." She proffered a rolled sheaf from her chic bag like a thorned olive branch. I ignored it. "I've mulled your pitch," I said, "and I'd rather my name steer clear of your blunders." The smile cracked briefly, then reset. She retreated to her SUV wordless, tires flinging pebbles the whole descent. Over the next 10 days, they cast foundations. I observed from the ridge each eve with Vietnam binoculars, jotting dates and chords in a composition book as my dad schooled me for beaver surveys. Mixers growled pre-sunrise, drums pulsing like sluggish hearts. Rebar skeletons rose rusty from the bed. Wet concrete odor wafted upslope, cloaking the house like illness. They raised an access road through the ancient beaver dam we'd preserved 30 years. I heard century-old alder splinter under tracks from half a mile off. Something in my chest fractured too. Nights, I patrolled the ghost shoreline, scouting the storm gate path with red beam light. The headwaters climbed faster than hoped. Melt cascaded down granite chutes in daytime, silver threads, nighttime, white torrents. I measured 12 feet, 13.6 on my dad's stave. Another week, 10 days tops, it'd crest the spillway whether I acted or not. But I wanted them to feel selected, not random. I wanted them knowing whose grip spun the wheel. By week 3's close, the first 5 retreats stood defiant against the heavens, sharp A-frames, glass facades flinging sunset back like defiance. Synthetic decks jutted 20 feet over the floor on piles drilled into soil that once cradled 10 million gallons uncomplaining. Then leasing signs towered man-high, staked where I'd interred my dog scout a decade past. Now leasing, your secluded nature haven. From $879 per night. That night, I toted bourbon and lantern to the gate. I unwrapped the crank reverently, whisking cobwebs from cogs. The metal chilled familiar under palms. I didn't turn it, not yet. But I lingered, heeding the upstream roar 2 miles distant. A leashed sea pleading release. For the first time in 15 years, I voiced to the void. They think arid means extinct. I told wind, stars, dormant lake. Tomorrow, we show them what recall feels like aroused. The valve stayed shut. The lantern flickered till coyotes hushed, and deep under the ridge, water replied with a timbre older than titles, laws, every paper fib. They dubbed one retreat Harlan's Mirror without consent. I learned when a glossy quadfold brochure slithered from my mailbox like a perfumed viper. The cover lied in HD, 5 glass bastions, Photoshop dusk, encircled by non-existent still water absent since my daughter toddled. A bogus loon glided the fake lake. Even the heavens were tweaked to funeral lavender. Inside, text oozed, revived tranquility on pristine, underused valley floor. Green build on neutral turf. Blend of wild and luxe. Neutral turf. As if this earth bore no past, no sweat, no trace of my mother pinning wash across open waves. No remnant of my dad's chuckle when a base struck so fierce it near tugged him overboard. The finale stung worst. Stenciled in elegant serif above the grandest rendering. Harlan's Mirror, Signature Lodge. Sleeps 10. Private chef available. My name, my father's, reduced to $1,299 nightly trinket. I stood driveway bound, so long the pamphlet quivered like a hurt sparrow. A red-tail hawk wheeled overhead, keening twice, then veered as if the sky recoiled. That night, restlessness gripped. I paced till boards protested, then pinned the brochure barn wall with a 16-penny nail at eye height for constant reminder. They'd pilfered more than dirt. They'd commodified my mourning for rent. Next dawn, I started subtle, like salting soil pre-torch. At 3:07 a.m., I ghosted the subdivision in woolen dark, slipping flyers into boxes and wipers. Plain print on white. True history. True rights. True water. Coming. Ask HOA why they built on sworn dead floodplain. By noon, my phone buzzed nonstop from long silent neighbors, some irate, some probing, one widow weeping over 1,978 skating memories. The HOA fired back a cease and desist email pre-dinner, pinned by a Bay Area firm billing $600 hourly for menaces. I printed and pinned it beside the brochure. 2 days on, I requested public records on every HOA dime sunk into mirror retreats. They resisted, but the county clerk, Tom, who'd seen me mature, slid a hefty file with a wink, some regs bend. Inside, bids, transfers, and the dammer, a 7-month-old line. Land acquisition, Lot 7B, quiet title process, $14,200 legal fees. They'd snatched my bed via court slight and unread ads. That afternoon, I drove straight to the recorders. Tom met me hallway bound, reeking coffee and fury. No personal service, he grumbled, yanking the dossier. Claimed diligent hunt, published legals. Filthy but kosher. Can it reverse? Only via fraud proof or reassert use so spectacular courts can't blink. Say, lake vanishing then reappearing overnight. We locked eyes over 40 shared years. Never occurred to me. I fibbed. He grinned like witnessing justice hone its blade. That eve, I hiked the reservoir under moon so vivid it silvered the woods. Water hit 14.2, lapping top moss stones my dad, and I mortared the summer I turned 15. The bypass trench gurgled like a throat-priming speech. I crested the dam till boots numbed, attuned to million-gallon melt debating gravity. I didn't open but stripped the tarp fully, folding it on a stump like an unclaimed white flag. The following Thursday, they staged the ribbon cut. I streamed it kitchen-bound on a weathered tablet used solely for radar. Sarah stood before Harlan's mirror in white linen, coiffed flawless, beaming camera award like she'd patented dawn. This venture, she proclaimed, proves releasing yesterday clears space for brighter tomorrows. Claps. Flutes. An influencer with 2 million tails snapped a selfie with my name sign. I shut the tablet, barnward, lifted the crank, first time in 15. Iron scorched cold. I trucked it, laid it passenger side like a babe, blanketed in my dad's oilskin. Then ascended the twists reservoir bound anew. Moon absent, forest inked and respiring. I labored by red light, vetting bolts, seals, teeth. The crank clicked home hungrily. I didn't spin but engaged the pawl one notch from liberty. Descent bound, I bypassed my teen deterrent fake sinkhole fence. Brush thickened, but the path endured, a secret only 2 men knew. One gone. Me remaining. I lingered at the gate past midnight, heating water rumble behind iron like a flock awaiting amen. Voice rusty, I uttered. They used our name, Dad. Plaques like theirs to vend. Water growled low, a bear dreaming honey and payback. I pawned the chill wheel. Not yet. Soon. And when it arrived, it wouldn't tap. It'd recall. I donned my marine dress blues to town hall, first in 39 years. Jacket fitted, brass greened at rims, left sleeve scarred from unhealed frag. I buffed shoes till my eyes reflected, old, fatigued, steadfast. Pinned every ribbon, including the unspoken one. When entering a den of folks deeming you obsolete, uniform grants 5 extra silent seconds. 5 can suffice to ram truth home. The planner's office reeked burnt Joe and bargain rug shampoo. Brandon Voss, 33, laser-trimmed beard, gripped my hand like metals might infect. I scanned your email packet, he started, tablet aglow. Heritage water claims. Legacy setup. Quiet title contest. Frankly, Mr. Harlan, it's tangled. Not tangled, I said. They erected fancy latrines on lake floor. I hold the tap. He winced. Flood maps untouched since '08. Permits issued on sat shots showing desert. No alarms. I slid the folder. 1967 deed. Permit. Notarized logs of yearly gate lube, 9 present. 67 pics of upstream, rise weekly. I got fresh data. I added. He leafed photos, lips thinning. Can't take private hydro reads. So you greenlit $1,000,000 homes on floodplain cause your '08 sheet said, likely dry? He fiddled tie like his seat scorched. We adhered to protocol. I leaned, ribbons catching fluorescence. When those retreats submerge, Brandon, recall those words. We adhered to protocol. He fell mute. Exiting, I crossed Sarah in the hall. She chattered with a counselor whose hair shone like lacquered granite. Sarah's gaze hit uniform, metals, my measured gait. Smile iced mid-phrase. Oh, she boomed hall wide. It's the gent stirring fuss. I halted 2 feet off, near enough for her irate perfume. Haven't begun. Hall hushed till the outer flag snapped audible. That afternoon, code enforcement truck ascended my drive. Travis, inspector, solid lad, Army Reserve, 2 Afghan stints, exited looking elsewhere bound. Anonymous tip, unlicensed tinkering with public waterworks? I guided him through Manzanita to the gate. We shoved the fake fence, unveiled the wheel. 1967 plate riveted, Harlan property. Operate only with leave. Travis whistled. Predates the district. Grandfathered solid. Thought so. But can't crank sans updated flood study and eco cord. Release into residential zone. Felony rap. I met his gaze. If water comes solo. He eyed cloudless blue, then wheel. God aid who built below. He noted courtesy check, trucked off silent. That eve, new laminate notice on my gate, like rainproofing arrogance, unauthorized water in for maintenance, halt pending audit. Violators prosecuted. I left it as trophy. 3 nights hence, I whistled to state fish and wildlife. Unpermitted build in intermittent wetland. Harm to possible wood frog, Western Pond, turtle habitat. Attached time-stamped vid of frog eggs 2 springs back. GPS to current pour site. My old service pal Daniel, now senior eco-inspector, rang 10 p.m. Starting war, John? Ending one. He chuckled like scenting non his blood. Team on site 6 days. Hold fire. I hung barnward. Crank gleamed oiled on bench under bulb. I wrapped it oilskin, trucked it gentle as newborn. Upstream hit 15-4. Whitewater cascaded emergency spill and roar, missed 20 feet. Dam quivered. I stood crest-bound in blues, soaked, metals chiming like bells, sensing mountain pulse through subgate. Didn't open but yanked lock pin, left it concrete side, steel moon glinting, like provocation. Descent, I paused ridge over basin. 5 retreats glowed temp lights, haughty, frail. Harlan's mirror loomed biggest, glass echoing stars once lakes. Voice windborne, wanted our name? Get the full me. Behind, reservoir thundered heartbeat like. I smiled first in months. Lake neared ready. So the night I cranked the storm gate, the mountain seemed to inhale. Left house 11:47 p.m., Dad's 1967 oilskin on. No lantern, moon sliver blade, stars gilt legible. Carried crank, long rod, canvas roll clinking soft each step. Trail slick with melt. Needles clung boots like charges. Midway, past 20-year fake sinkhole fence. Brush dense, needed both hands. Left it gaping like eternal maw. Gate hunkered granite notch, moss half buried, deadfall. Knelt, cleared winter litter, bared iron wheel. Skin searing cold. Annual grease soft. Gears moon black. No prayer. No pause. Slid rod home. Locked pawl. Braced boots concrete way Dad taught at 14, heaved. Will resisted. 15 rust years shrieking. Weight full, breath fog bursting. Once. Twice. Third. Mountain groaned mournful. Will quarter turned like millennium sealed basilica door. Hiss from trench throat. Cough. Roar. Water jet silver solid. Slamming channel with jolt staggering me. Ground vibrated mist. Mist exploded. Sweet cold snow granite spring. 3 more full spins for 85% per blueprint. Locked pawl. Retreated. Thunder swallowed all. Lingered till mist-drenched coat. Watched first white tendril bend basin ward. Followed. Path now river. Walked beside infant flood. Boots splashing. Heart sinking water. Moon silver black woods. Rocks glistened life primed. Ridge reached. Halted. Lake homecoming. Poured valley gut wide shining. Moon knife skating. Sound avalanche. Fog spiraled as chill melt met warm earth. Coiling retreats like exhumed breath. 5 stood stilted. Sensors lit. Abruptly puny absurd. Glass mirrored moon. Rush. My ridge silhouette momentary. No smile yet. Watched rise. Hit gravel pads. Ruts brown rivers. Kissed stilt bases. Hissing untreated wood. Decks floated upward piano keys ghost played. Lantern ripped. Bobbed lit substar. Stood till lapped Harlan's mirror first step. Mist thickened. Frogs. Real. Not brochure fakes. Chorus night shaking. Then one slow breath. Lake recalled. Shape flawless. Still swelling. Homeward longshore way. Boots squelching. Coat leaden. Behind. Box spark pop. Plastic burn wind drift. No glance back. Indoors. Shed sodden oilskin. Pegged where Dad's hung 40 years. Poured 2 bourbon fingers in his '08 close night glass. Raised to dark pane. Shining veil. To recall. Water rumbled content. Rattling cups. Swallowed one. Sank glass. Finally bedded. Slept not. How? Unleashed 15-year mute river naming me. Awake 3:11 a.m. When first scream pierced mist. Basin thin sharp. Man slipper stepping to Ocean X driveway. Voices joined. Valley disbelief panic splash. Expensive shoes melt filling. Dry garbed. Red light. Ridge down. Moon set. Lake self-glowed phosphor silt star. Fog ghost drifted. Air mudpine short tang. Retreats heron stunned flood. Lights flickered sensor rock. Decks partial free. Boards raft knocking glass. Hot tub timer bubbling ripped. Drifted 20 yards. Cord umbilical. Shore silent. Boots wet clay. Frogs ear ringing. Near Willow Lodge. Robert Vance silk PJS north face ankle deep. Phone beaming pilings. Beams tilting. Lodge ship groaning. Impossible. Voice cracking repeat. Emily Wong deck floated tranquil bay. Laptop cradled overhead. Mascara black rivers. My laptop. Someone grabbed my laptop. Sarah appeared last. Barefoot. Linen plastered. Hair ropes. Drill weapon-like. Saw me ridge dry. Drill plopped sink. You whisper. Then shrill frog scattering. You did this. Nothing said. Eyed her over 30 blackwater feet mirroring cruel. Weighted thigh deep. Shivering. Criminal. Terrorism. Federal pen. Behind. Harlan's mirror side deep. Corner pile gun cracked. Lurched. Glass web slow. Cedar name plaque ripped. Floated knee past. Stared bitten like. Finally spoke. Calm water carrying. Wanted my name brochure? Now on water proper. Robert splashed purple-faced. Shut it. Whatever shut now. Tilted head upstream roar artillery continuous. Not tap anymore. River recalling home. Emily sobbed gulping valley echo. Sarah stepped. Water waste. Current knowing tug. Pay every cent. Hissed. Insurance. Suits. Charges. Crouched. Skipped shore flat stone. For bounces vanish. Tell insurer truth. Said. Built on lakebed never ceased. Owner reminded ownership. Night crack loud. Willow Lodge port listed hard. Deck ripped raft free. Carrying chairs propane pit blue burning. Robert incoherent screamed, lunged, slipped under, surfaced curse sputter. Sarah froze chest water, staring slow wreck, all stolen. Turn leave. Behind. Voice cracked non-presidential, small wet woman. John, please. Paused ridge. Please what, Sarah? Couldn't. Current dress tugged. Stumbled windmill arms. Robert elbow grabbed pre-dunk. I'd last. 3 hubris crafters knee consequence they denied. Walked away. Trail half. Met first county emergency lights. Halted at me soaked yet dry-eyed. Blues oilskin hidden. Young deputy unknown beamed face. Sir, folks below danger? Heated water, frogs, mountain beat slow patient. No, said. Exactly chosen spot. Stared lake glow tilting retreats. Jesus, whisper. Kept walking. House, pegged oilskin, poured bourbon finger, porch stepped. For 30 a.m., water 8-inch climb. Harlan's mirror free piled, cable tethered, slow turn current compass seeking north. Raised glass, welcome home. Lake slapped waves shore rocks, lullaby 15-year absent, childhood summer sleep. Drank, first since dad died, 3-hour dreamless perfect, while veil water memory, justice music inexorable. Dawn woke, sun Eastridge, lake dad death day identical. Only now cradled 5 costly errors gentle, rocking like mother-child bite learned. Brewed coffee, porch, new day smiled. Frogs sang. I too. 6:04 a.m. Sun hammered lake gold. Kitchen phone vibrated edgeward 20 minutes. Let fall. Porch bound, coffee steaming, watched veil respire. Water 18-inch overnight. Mirror flat merciless, sky ground dwelling. 5 shipwrecks time frozen. Harlan's mirror starboard listed, glass spider glitter, name cedar tomb drift. Willow lodge back broken. Roof upside propane blew under. Others stilt swayed agony groan, decks island lux debris. Shore new, frantic post. 3 pop tents, 2 sheriff SUVs strobing, fire rig, orange vest engineers red staking mud. News drone buzzed, Lynn's angry god eye. Sarah midst, hair skull plastered, once white robe gray cling, barefoot shiver, presidential try, vandalism. Eco-terror. Arrest immediate. Bearded response captain gloved plate hand. Ma'am, assessing act of God qual. 0 human trace yet. Sarah finger stabbed uphill porch. He's there coffee sipping. 30 eyes swiveled. Raised mug slow salute old friends absent years. 7:12 a.m. Dusty crown Vic drive ascended, nose old Ford. Detective Lena Klein. No kin, praise, exited. Mid-40s, sharp bones, belt badge afterthought. No siren, step stride trouble scene, unimpressed. Morning, Mr. Harlan. Talk. Door held. Entered, boots wet pine prints. Kitchen Joe strong. Declined cup, table unsat, notebook pen ready. 5 partial substructures, 2 mil damage reported, wet angry folks finger you. What occurred? Leaned counter arms fold. Nature. Snow melt. Gravity. Lake home. Short humorless laugh. Odd. County old maps undocumented 67 Stormgate 2 miles north, undecommed. Crew found wide 5:17 a.m. No prints, tracks. Just valve 85%, pin neat concrete polite raised. Silent. Lena pen tapped. Gate Harlan steward listed. Tech. Water yours release. Tech. Agreed. I'd gunmetal. Intriguing. No crime proof. Insurers got act payout. HOA lawyers murder scream when quiet title sinks 6-foot real water. Coffee sipped. Notebook closed. Off rec. Gramps fished this with your dad. Quietest county water. Shame attempted. Was shame, said. Healing now. Lena stood, tucked. Anything else? Hurt anyone? Convo official quick. Clear. Crystal. Nodded. Car ward. Wordless leave. 8:47 a.m. First TV truck, satmas periscope. 9 o'clock drones thick. Kayak launched beauty shots wreckage float. Current spun him, circles liveswear. Ticker regional. Mystery flood engulfs luxury HOA project overnight. Mystery repeat. Almost pitted. Almost. 10:30 a.m. Official procession drive climb. County Ung, State Eco, 2 adjuster rentals, Pale Brandon Voss protocol planner. Porch gathered sinners repent. Ung first. Basin self-reclass active wetland real time. Flows match historic spring surges. Brandon I avoid. Permits paused review. Build stopped. Nodded Sunday calm. Adjuster throat clear. Sir, gate ops docs? Handed Manila Bible thick. Logs. Pics. 67 permit. Fresh affidavit. Opened. Blanched. Past fire hot. Left. Brandon lingered. Didn't know. Whisper. Now do, said. Prius ward. 10 years aged. Noon. Certified mail 3 firms. Thick. Millions demand. Injunction threat. Prison promise. Fireplace carried. Match struck. Watch flames devour page vent. Smoke. Victory pine. Late afternoon viral vid. 2 mil views. Drone Harlan's mirror current rotate. Cedar name camera signature masterpiece. Comments. Old man's legend. HOA wrong Gramps. Water remembers. Laptop shut outside. Lake old lines perfect. Dragonfly skim. Mallards paddle sunken tub nest island. Reed's green spear mud X roads. Shore walked sunset. Boots squish, heart light. Inlet old. Found prior night skip stone. Palmed, turned, smiled. Every ripple origin recalled. World 2. Rain 3rd day. Soft steady patient. Earthbones soak unarguable. Porch dad's rocker. Coffee cold. Silver curtains lake drift. Surface gunmetal low sky, alive. Drop circle widen touch widen. Veil ripple vast skin, breathe remember. Below post shrunk soggy tint, 2 slicker deputies miserable. News gone. Story fires politics. Retreats half-drowned hubris monuments windrock gentle. Harlan's mirror surrendered midnight post. Bedroom heard groan sigh last pile snap. Dawn side lay glass whale, roof stove, shiplap expose. Rain drum pink cedar stain, sawdust arrogance rivers lake. Others no retreats. Debris rafts. Countertops, steel fridge coffin bob. King mattress swollen dark, current circle slow. Watch triumph absent. Quiet satisfy return stolen rightful. 10:17 a.m. Lone far shore. Sarah. Oversized navy raincoat, hood up pocket hands. Edge stood long still, wreckage stare once legacy. Then shore walk my side slow deliberate, water boot lap. Closest point 60 yards porch, stopped. Regarded over now undeniable my lake. No shout. No fist letter. Hand raised palm open, rain near erased gesture. Greeting? Surrender? Plea. Mug lifted return. Minute, turned back way, shoulders rain heavier hunch. Never sure saw again. Afternoon clerk runner thickest envelope. Inside, dad's case knife slit, window read late co-read. Notice, quiet title lot 7B vacated null void. Cause, fraud omission key fact, active upstream hold, grandfathered gate, beneficial use reassert original custodian. Laughed bark startling porch raven. Throat foreign sound. Last recall. Outside, papers rail laid, rain ink blur. Folded wet, kindling box stove side. Victory's fire closed best. Next morn different visitor. Red bike boy mailbox skid, 10-ish freckles gap tooth eyes lake wide. Stared past mouth agape. Mr. Lake real? A sidestepped full view. Mirror com reads wave blue heron one leg sunken roof victorious flag. Very. Swallowed. Dad says magic return. Knelt I level raindrip hats. No magic. Just name remember speak loud. Solemn judge consider. Fish someday. Smile new face. Anytime son. Dad. Worms. Manners. Lake likes manners. Grin wide, tooth window joy, pedaled road shout news empty air. Word flood swift. Weekend shore quiet pilgrims. 70s fish old men. Stroller moms, show kids water self. Teens beer sneak rock skip float decks. No litter. No yell. Came looked some cried left cleaner. State biologists waiters net tadpoles fingernail size cheer penicillin discover. Osprey pair nest rebuilt highest broken pile Harlan's mirror. Sky wing ruled drone free. Adjusters came went no crime prince got act bootwear full payout vanish. HOA dissolved mirror committee. Rumors Sarah quit house sold Arizona ward dead ground convenient. Never queried. Ghosts unburied best. Early June Eve. Dad cedar rocker water edge old dock spot. Lake rocker lap. Sat sunset stone skip. Wave slap listen frog chorus soft. Canoe drift young couple paddle. Shy greet hand raise. Returned. Glided whisper point heron osprey dragonfly silver thread. Stars out. Spoke old lake places. Finally 15-year words. Kept gate dad. Kept vow. Waterside content dad's laugh exact. Eyes closed let lake rock boy dark afraid. All belonged. Land name back. Water voice back. I father back ripple reed veil breath. Tried berry concrete quiet titles pretty lies. Water patient. Remembers. Night spoke my name. World shut listened. Years passed. Lake never departed. Settled old skin man home self-built. Contour perfect depth memory demand. Spring melt 6-8 foot rise. Summer shrink dark mud ring willow race sky. Autumn gold ridge fire mirror. Winter silence glass ice sing temp drop. Older now. Iron hair snow. Gate wheel hand spotted slow. Morning shore walk flood first dawn boots mud squish pine possibility smell. Kids cane pole bobber fish bank. Parents porch nod respect all living history. Teens twilight date osprey dive watch. Canvas hat old men story tell listener any. Story kinder retell. Stubborn marine gate open life lake memory crank. Retreats gone. Not raised. Gone. Water started nature finished. Second spring last glass inward sigh valley heard. Beaver's lodge expensive cedar. 3 kick against Lydia champagne site planned. Otter's fridge slide. Turtle's sun upside roof Harlan's mirror. Cedar plaque downstream silt buried pharaoh coin. State bronze marker inlet sing loudest. Harlan Lake restored 2025 Stewardship Act. Water remembers. No ass plaque. Would halt known time, but stayed. Truth's medal deserve. Gate oiled October each. Grease can rag leaf clear trench. Will quarterback fourth thread honest. Upstream smaller. County proper spill post flood concrete gauge siren. Permission asked first. Gave. Progress memory mountain share manners mind both. Old gate mine. Inspector log sign grandfather stamp. 6-pack cores concrete quiet thanks. Drink 1, pour 1 dad, rest home carry. Night's moon full wind still porch listen. Lake talks soft slap stone. Bullfrog croak. Base mayfly splash sudden. Loon call mournful nest return first summer never left. Eyes closed dad voice beneath calm baritone 8-year me. Care water son, water care you. Right. Cared lies. Greed. Me. Never remarried wife pass. No need. Lake companion patient forgiving fierce necessary. Asked respect gives all. People come not many enough. Pull off park quarter trail walk edge silent. Flowers leave, notes rock tuck. Spring veterans dress blues, 2-line salute, lake minute full. Porch watch tears beard never more understood life. Last week 7 girl red braids double gap marched porch steps crayon draw. Blue lake stickman, hat purple block, thank you for the water. Pinned kitchen window morning light first. Crank still. Barn peg oilcloth wrapped gleam. Down yearly night turn anniversary, rag iron remember 15 weight heavy hands. Back up. Gate no need open. Voice own. Keep crank soldier sidearm warpost. Tools promises. Tonight sky clear, Milky Way overhead river. Docks it salvage timber old retreats, cedar sweet years feet dangle cool alive mine water. Meteor streak vanish. Glass rays water tonight speak dark. To bury triers, for jetters, water never. Lakeside content heart wrap, dad's hand shoulder wheel teach day. Eyes closed. Frogs sing. Osprey nest cry once. Deep quiet surface 15 silence forgiven perfect. Lake rock sleep boy fair world belief. Isn't fair. But man promise keep long fierce alone world bends justice slip. Water remembers. I too. And that has made all the difference. What do you think about this story? Share your thoughts in the comments below, especially on themes of violence and injustice in life. Do you side with the man who took matters into his own hands? Or do you see it as going too far? Take a stand and express your views. I'd love to hear from you.